3 o'clock, good to have you with us. Little Pistons open for a reason. I think the Pistons got punched in the jaw, and they've got a counter. We went into the offseason, and you know this show is bullish. I'm bullish on the Orlando Magic. They made what I think is a brilliant trade and an impactful trade, and a trade that speaks to the general viewpoint that the East is open and the time is now. So Orlando went out and got Desmond Bane, who is a fringy top 30, certainly a top 40 player in the sport. He is a perfect two guard to Suggs. He guards. He's going to average 20 a night. He gives you 6 boards. He gives you 5 assists. Again, the defense, 39% from 3, and a fun little analytics stat on spot-up threes. Shoots a whopping league best 43%. Oh. Bane is the perfect number 3. Arguably, if you have a big 3, he's the best 3 in the league. They have Boncaro. They have Wagner. They have Suggs. That is a top 3 defensive team that just got better. All right, well, what did they give up? The dead body of Caldwell Pope, who they signed a terrible contract for. That's why it was 4 picks and not 3. And Cole Anthony, who's fine enough as a bench player, but nothing you truly care about. Orlando is better than you are. That is a punch in the face because they have moved forward. So here's my question, guys. First of all, Bane was built to be a Piston. If you're really thinking about it, if I said to you, guy I could put next to Cade, guards, great three-point shooter, diverse player, good passer too, you'd go, ooh, tell me more. That's Bane. And the 4 first-round picks, this is what Piston fan needs to learn. The picks don't matter. If you're going to be any good, they don't matter. The CBA is designed, you're not going to be able to keep your team together. You know what Orlando said, Rico? Here's a 3-year window. Because we're not going to be able to pay everybody. So here's my question. Now that we've kicked off the offseason, this trade happened out of nowhere. Reports say teams, plural, reached out about Bane, but nobody went after it as hard as Orlando. Does this motivate you more as a Piston fan, as an observer, that it's not even an option to make a move? They have to make a move. Or let Trajan cook.
Well, it's funny because when the trade went down, you're like, oh, okay. And wow, he went to Orlando. Like, you want to hear he went out, he stayed in the West, someplace like that. He went to the Lakers, he went to Orlando. Of all teams, we've said, I think Orlando is going to be, that team to beat, and they realize we're not where we need to be. We can get better. Now, the funny thing is, Mike, I think a lot of Pistons fans will say, we could have did better than Bane. We could have done better than
who?
I'm not saying
a player who signed a 20-point scorer, no, low ego, high output.
He's not Kobe in his prime, is what I'm saying.
Okay,
it's one of those where, yeah, but we can do so much better. I'm with you.
These are the same people drinking Malik Beasley's bathwater. Really?
And that was the next thing is, well, we got Beasley. I saw this and said, the Magic aren't messing around. The Magic are in this thing. The Magic see exactly what we see, that the East is there for the taking. Whoever wants to get this thing, no offense, your Celtics going to take a big step back. Your star's not there. And Orlando's like, you know what? Why not us? We're looking at what we're seeing out at OKC. We could be them. We can come out there with some young guys, and we can win this thing. Let's go get some three-point shooting.
Look, they were a terrible three-point shooting team. This provides spacing. This is it's a dangerous move. And for those of you who go, but we finished ahead of them this year, their big 3 played 92 minutes together. So do a little research or call a different show.
The only thing I feel good about is, according to your rules, they have Suggs. I don't know.
Balding point guard can't win championship. It doesn't preclude you from winning the East, but you're not winning a title when a guy's rocking a lettuce like that. I don't know what that is. Now, I'm about solutions. I didn't want to just leave this out there and go, okay, are you ready to get serious? News over the weekend, Shams Charania I want you to listen to this because I said to you, I'm not going to bring players up unless they are known to be somewhat, if not totally available. Right? We're not doing fantasy radio. Let's trade for Paul Skeens. So, David, do you want to play the Shams report real quick here? Because I think Rico will perk up. So, here's why this is important. Oh, yeah, you can want to trade Drew Holiday or Kristaps Porzingis. You know what Sharanya left out of that report? Those two are viewed as a negative asset around the league, meaning the Celtics are going to have to attach value to get rid of them, kind of like you guys did with Wallman. We have to attach something to get rid of them. Derek White, Jaylen Brown. Go ahead. Do you want the Pistons to offer on one of them? Do you want to make a Godfather offer for one?
I do. I like the Derek White. You sold me on Derek White. That's not who I thought Dave was going to go with. I thought it was going to be sticking with Memphis, and I thought it was going to be Jaren. But yeah, if you can get White here, yeah, absolutely. I don't think it's going to break the bank, but I do think it will make your team better because it's an arms race, and look, Orlando already made the first move. You have to make some counter moves if you want to stay competitive. And not only would you take White away from the Celtics, but that's making them a lesser than team next year and making you better. So absolutely. Jaylen Brown, I got a feeling you would have to break this team up in order to sign him. And that's the same reason why I'm not a big, KD type of fan. Not to say he is KD, but I'm not into just throwing everything away for one person, because if that person gets hurt, you're screwed.
248-539-9797. So, does Orlando have your attention? They should. And the Celtics are not hanging up the phone when teams are calling about Derek White and Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown, obviously, is a much more expensive player. He also is coming off a knee procedure, but he is a Finals MVP. He is an All-NBA player.
Yeah, but I don't think that knee procedure is anything, like, oh, my goodness, he's going to be out. It's kind of sound like he has some stuff cleaned up.
Well, right, but he's had a bulky knee for a few years. Look, man, you're paying a guy $55 million.
Yeah.
I'm not dealing with a chip plate here. No. Like, give me the China, but it can't have a chip. The Derek White thing would be the move if you wanted it. And I know he's not, as Rico put it, he ain't Kobe in his prime. But do you want one of the best two-way guards in the league? Yes. Do you want a guy who can absolutely be the primary ball handler in the fourth quarter so Cade could go off ball? Yes. Do you want one of the best defensive guards? Yes. Led the league in blocks from guards? Yes. Do you want a dead eye who shoots from three? Yes. Championship pedigree? Check and check.
The leadership. I think that's what would help this team, because this team had everything but somebody who could walk in and say, hey, guys, you want to win a title? We need to do it this way.
And here's the thing. Nobody heard Bane was available, but he was. Don't you believe more than ever the Pistons must make a move? That doing what Detroit does, we're just going to sit here and develop and, take our time. I don't think that's good enough. I think you're seeing it in real time in the NBA. Teams have these limited windows. Mm-hmm. I think you have a limited window. Why? Cade's deal and Ivy and Duren are both extension eligible. Like, how much time do you think you have to, quote, let it cook versus make move? Nothing crazy, but make a move. Look, Orlando is now better than you. And if all three players die, no, they're not better, but they're better than you. So that's a problem. The Pacers are better than you. Don't believe me? Look at October, November, December, and then look at their record since January. Pacers are better than you. As long as Giannis is in Milwaukee, and look, whether he is or isn't, today he is. They're better than you.
Now, we talked about the Celtics and looking what the Grizzlies just did. Do you kick the tires and you try to see, you know what? Hey, what's it going to take us to get Jaren here? Ja? No, I'm going to pass on Ja. But when the Grizzlies come out and say, no, they're untouchable, to me, that's just owner speak saying, make me a good deal and you can have them.
I all I can go by is what's been reported today, which is not happening. Does it preclude you from picking up the phone? No. I'd love it. He's Defensive Player of the Year. He can shoot the three. I have no need to pay Duren. Bye-bye. Any thought of sliding Duren to the four is just poppycock. But, Rico, I'm not mad at you for saying it, but it's like every report today is no soup for you.
Right.
Like they're not doing it. But here's what I think. If they're taking a look in the mirror at the West, they have no shot the next couple of years.
And that's what I'm saying. And the fact that you have to come out and say this, just it's almost like when they say, hey, coach is my guy. He's going to be coaching here for a long time.
Uh-oh.
Cut scene 2 weeks later, coach fired. Oh, no. They're untouchable. That just tells me, make me the right offer.
Here's your other problem. I think Jaren Jackson is going to be more expensive than Ja Morant. I think there's more of a market for Jaren than Ja. And if you just saw what Bane cost, what are you offering? You'd have to clear it out. Now, I'm fine with it because is he a top 20 player in this sport? Probably. And if I can put him with Cade and you trust Trajan to do what he does. Look, my point is you got to make a move.
Yes. Because Orlando made the first move. Orlando is now sitting, in my opinion, in the driver's seat for the East next year. They'll be one of the top 2-3 teams.
Look, Bane, and again, look, I don't expect people to have like this.
No, I mean, but a good stat for the spot up three of 43%.
Rico, if I asked you to list the top 35 players in the league, Bane's going to be at the tail end of that list.
Yeah.
So for people who are like, well, but he's not Donovan Mitchell. He's a perfect fit for them.
See, I think that's where a lot of Pistons fans will come across like, well, who is he? They gave up way too much for him. Like, actually, they didn't.
That's nice. And meanwhile, this is the same fan base that washes Dennis Schroeder's balls. I'm not here for it.
You're on fire.
I'm not going to sit here and listen to that
because
type
he's
of
not
nonsense.
One of their guys. But you're right. He is built in a lab to be a Piston. Like, he would be a guy that Detroiters would embrace and be like, he is our dude. Let's lock him up for life.
Cade and Bane becomes one of the best backcourts in the sport. That's it. 248-539-9797. We got a couple open lines. Let's grab them. Let's talk.